Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Inspired by Christ, where we talk about everything Jesus, God, salvation, and whatever he inspires me to talk about. And I just got a quick story for y'all today. It felt like it was a lesson in how God kind of moves through faith. So I'm trying to start a garden this year, and I have a watering can that I have to bring into the apartment because I don't have like a hose or anything outside to fill up the water with. So I got to bring the can inside, fill it up at the sink. But I noticed recently there have been it seems like it's a few of them, but it's never more than one at one time. There have been some frogs. Like one may have been about this size, and then another one is more like a baby size, but they all hopping. All right, they are all hopping, which I don't like. But I'm trying to make it a habit to check the watering can now, because sometimes they're just like in the not like directly in the opening, they're hiding up under the ledge of the opening, and so you can't really see them. I guess they like dark, damp places. Maybe I don't know nothing about frogs, but if they do come out, it's usually from up under the ledge. And I grabbed the watering can. I called myself checking it before I even got into the apartment to start pouring water in. And I'm pouring water and I'm trying to walk it back out. And all of a sudden, this frog comes out of the little spout part. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't need a frog hopping on me. I don't need a frog in this apartment. I didn't want a frog as a pet. I had considered having a German Shepherd once before, but I ain't want no frog as a pet. Oh man. And so it just hopped on like nobody's business. It was trying to get away from me. And I was like, oh my goodness, how do I catch a frog? And so it's like, it's going between, at first I didn't see where it went, but eventually I saw it. And then I kind of tried to catch it. I grabbed a shoebox and I was trying to like enclose it in between the lid and the actual box, hoping even if it did hop, it would only be inside of the box. I couldn't catch this thing for nothing. And one of my first thoughts when it started hopping around was, okay, I know it likes water. I know it's gonna find its way to the watering can. And so maybe if I just fill the can up with a little bit of water, because I mean, they don't want to drown, but fill it up with a little bit of water, and then maybe it'll do what it does outside, just goes to the watering can and hides up under the ledge. But I was in somewhat of a rush. Not a rush, but I knew I wanted the frog up out of my house. I didn't want to, do I want to say waste time? I didn't want so much time to pass that it would like start leaving droppings and whatnot. So I'm like, I want this frog out of my room. I want, not like, it wasn't in my bedroom, it was in the open area, but I want it out of my apartment. But me trying to catch it wasn't work. So eventually I was like, okay, we gonna sit back, we gonna relax. We know the frogs come to the watering can. So I just sat the watering can in the middle of the floor, and the frog eventually came to it. I was listening, because you know, sometimes with creepy crawlies, you can hear them crawling about. And so I was listening, and I heard like there was an indication that there was movement at the watering can. And so I go out and check, and I see it, and it's sitting on top of the watering can. And I'm like, okay, this is not the time, because it's gonna hop away if I try to move it. no sudden movements with this, all right? And so I'm just waiting for the frog to get inside the ledge like it usually does. And eventually it does get inside the ledge, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I just need to take this watering can and take it outside. Please don't let this frog hop out on me again. Here we go. And so eventually I was able to get the frog outside. Now, what does this have to do with faith? Sometimes I would come out and check on the frog, like, are you up under the ledge? Are you still sitting on top of the watering can? Like, what are you doing? And for a good hot minute, the frog was just on top of the watering can. Like, it didn't trust anybody. It didn't trust anything. It was trying to be aware of its environment. It was trying to be cognizant of what's going on. And obviously, I don't talk to frogs, but this is how I'm observing it had I been in this situation. If there's something going on and I don't know what it is, I don't know what the environment is, I'm uncomfortable, I'm confused, I'm just like, what is this space? What am I in the middle of? I don't know. And I can be hesitant to take steps when I'm in that mind space. So I was comparing myself to the frog. And me, myself, like actually in this situation, I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting for this frog to have the faith that I'm not trying to kill it. And sometimes I think that's the reminder that we need with God, like just remembering that He is a good Father and He's not trying to lead us into death, and that whatever He has for us is good for us. Let me pull up the scripture. It's one that a lot of people know. Let me see. I gotta pull this up on my thing because I don't have. Where is my paper Bible? Oh, it's out there. Where am I going? Oh, I'm looking for the scripture. Y'all probably know what scripture I'm about to pull up. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And so it can be easy, especially if you're like so ingrained in the world that you're so accustomed to the world's ways and you can't do a quick switch over into God's ways. And that's understandable because, I mean, we have to be taught. If we're not trained up, sometimes even if we are trained up, we just miss the point. But if we're not trained up in God's ways, we don't understand how He works. And I'm not saying that we'll ever have like full, complete understanding of how God works, because we are so human and we are so limited in our understanding that we can never understand the full picture. But there are things that He does make known to us. There are things that He does reveal to us. And there are things that we are allowed to know, most of which is in His Word. And if we have a relationship with Him, then He makes personal things known to you too. But I digress. Anyway, I'm just sitting and I'm waiting for this frog to have the faith to know that I am not trying to hurt him or her. I don't know genders of frogs. And that was something that I personally had to go through and grow through. Just realizing that God is not trying to leave me stranded in the middle of nowhere, that what He starts, He will finish, and He won't just leave me in the middle of something confused and distressed. And so that's seeing the frog. I'm like, huh. It kind of feels like what my faith walk looks like when I don't fully trust God. And maybe this is a reminder for some of you out there too. We can trust God and His plans and His ways, even if we don't understand it, even if it puts us in an environment that we don't recognize, that makes us uncomfortable. And we just have to see where He's going to lead us. Like how I led the frog back outside. I hope I explained that properly though. But I'm just like, why am I dealing with a frog today? Frogs. That feels like that was my adventure for the month. But I'll see you later. Bye.